Hello, Storytime friends. Thank you so much for joining us for another bedtime story time this evening. I hope that you are cuddled up with your stuffed friends, wearing your PJs like we are. If you haven't seen us before, my name is Miss Ann, and I'm the early literacy specialist for the Lincolnwood Public Library. And all those words mean are that I get to do these wonderful story times and all of our programming for our littlest kiddos and their families. And now that we're virtual, now that we're online, we can do any kind of ages at our programming, right? All ages love story time. So all ages get to enjoy story time now. And our families who work during the day, who weren't able to join us for story time in person when we were able to do story time in person, are all now able to enjoy story time online, which makes us so, so happy. And if you haven't met me before, then you probably haven't met Fluffy. Fluffy is my very best stuffed friend, and she joins us for all of our bedtime story times. Now, Fluffy, I'm going to put you a little bit lower on my lap. So I have both of my hands for our hello song. Now our hello song, if you've joined us before, you know, has a few different American Sign Language words. So it has hello, which is just taking your hand flat, tucking your thumb in just a little, doing a little salute from your forehead. Hello, hello. It has friends. Now this one I need both hands for. We take our 2 pointer fingers, and just like real friends, they hug, right? I know, I can't wait till I can do this with my real friends. I bet you guys can't wait either. And then if you're ready with hello and friends, you can add 2 more if you like. We can add time, which is just taking your wrist flat and pointing to it like you were wearing a watch here and you were pointing out what time it is. And you can add say, which is just taking a flat hand, tapping it to your chin. Now, I'm okay touching my face because I'm here at home with just the people and animals that I live with Fluffy, and so that's why I'm not wearing my mask either. But if you are uncomfortable touching your face, you can just put it right in front of your chin. All right, I think we're ready. Fluffy, I don't want you to fall. Gotta get you stable there. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Oh my gosh, good job, Storytime friends. Now, the other thing that we do every single week at Bedtime Storytime before we dive into our story of the evening, our special story, is we do a little bit of a teach and repeat rhyme. Now, all that those words mean are that we learn a rhyme, and then we keep repeating it every single week for a couple of months, so that by the time that we change over to a new rhyme, you guys know that one so well and have learned it and memorized it that you can pull it out at any time, like bedtime, since this is a bedtime themed rhyme that we're learning and repeating every week. You can pull it out without needing to look up the words or rewatch any of our story times, which you can do. All of our story times live on our videos playlist here. But the point of teach and repeat rhymes is that you have enough rhymes just in your back pocket, ready to go at any time, so that you can add a little singing and rhyming to your day throughout the day. So the rhyme that we're learning and we're practicing is called This Little Child is Going to Bed. If you haven't joined us before, don't worry, it's super simple to pick up. We start by pointing to ourselves because we're going to bed, right? Us. Then to go to bed, we need a pillow and a blanket, right? So we're going to make a pillow out of our hand, and we're going to make a blanket out of both of our arms. Fluffy, I'll put you down just for a second. We're going to hug ourselves nice and tight like we pulled up a blanket all the way up to our chin, and we're so warm and cozy. Then, I don't know about you, but I am ready to admit here at Storytime that while I'm asleep, I snore. I know, I bet you guys do too, or maybe some of your grown-ups do. So we're going to pretend that we've fallen asleep, and we're going to do some really funny, really silly, big pretend snores. All right, I think we're ready. This little child is going to bed. Down on the pillow they lay their head. They wrap themselves in a blanket tight, and this is the way they sleep all night. You ready for those silly snores? Oh my gosh, don't really fall asleep. That happens every time. I almost really fall asleep. Oh my gosh. So that is our teach and repeat rhyme. I hope that you are getting the hang of it. I hope that you are learning it so that you're ready to pull it out at bedtime or nap time when you need it. Now, we've done our teach and repeat, and we've sung hello to one another to welcome all of our Storytime friends to Storytime. Now that's all that's left is our story, right? Now, if you joined us on Monday for our lunch break story time, and don't worry if you didn't, because that video is also here on this playlist. Don't go away quite yet so that you don't miss this video, but afterwards. We are talking all about gardening this week. So on Monday, we talked a lot about flower gardens and different flowers. And today, our story is about a vegetable garden, right? Because we can grow fruits and vegetables as well as pretty flowers and plants. We can grow food to eat. Now, I did not make up this story that we're going to share here together. We are just going to share it the way that I love the flannel board. You guys know if you've joined us for bedtime story time before, I love the flannel board. So I'm going to go ahead and put Fluffy over to the side for right now so that I have both my hands and my lap free to do our flannel board. Let's get out our nice big garden. Look at all that beautiful soil. And let's see, what does this little garden sign have on it? What does this little garden sign right here have on it? Can you tell what vegetable that is? Is it a carrot? Now this story is all about a little boy who had a very special carrot seed and really, really, really wanted it to grow into a yummy carrot so that he could eat it. Now this book is called The Carrot Seed, and the author of the book is Ruth Krause. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description for the video, so if you want to look at the picture book version, you can, after we share the flannel board version together. Now there was a little boy, and this little boy, and it could be a little girl too. We could change it to our name, right? You could change it to your name when you're retelling the story at home. Especially for our littlest friends, our babies and our toddlers, when we say their name, the thing that we say right after, they pay more attention to. So if instead of the name of the character in the book, we use their name, then they tend to pay a little bit more attention to the story and tend to remember it a little bit better. So at home, if you want to retell this with your kiddo's name, you go right ahead. So one day there was a little boy, and the little boy had an itty bitty seed. Let's get our seed out here. Our little boy had a teeny tiny seed. Now he planted that seed right here in the dirt, right in that nice soil, with all of its nutrients, all of its food to give to a plant to make it grow nice and strong and big, right? He planted his seed in the ground. Cover it up with some soil. Now, his mommy came out to see this planting that he was doing. And his mommy said, "Oh, honey, that seed is not going to grow." Yeah, she didn't have very much faith in him. He was a brand new gardener, to be fair. And his daddy came out, and his daddy said, "Son, that seed is not going to grow. I'm sorry." And his big brother came out, and his big brother was not quite as nice, because sometimes our big brothers and our big sisters don't super care about hurting our feelings. I know, they learn, right? So our big brother didn't say it in a very nice way. Our big brother said, "That seed's not gonna grow." But our little boy did not believe them. Our little boy had a lot of faith in himself, a lot of confidence. So every day, as the seed began to grow, and weeds began to grow around it. Have you ever seen these types of weeds? Some dandelions, right? And maybe some crabgrass. That's another kind of weed that we get around in this area where we live. Now, weeds can be bad for a garden because they can prevent our carrot from growing. So we have to pick these weeds. Should we pick a couple? Pick our dandelion, make that go away. Pick one of our crabgrasses, make that go away. And what else does our plant need to grow nice and strong? Not just taking the weeds away, but also water, right? So our little boy would water with the watering can his carrot every single day and pick those weeds every single day. but still no carrot came up. I know, it was not looking good. It was not looking good. But our little boy was not discouraged. He kept trying. So the next day, he picked some more weeds. Get rid of those weeds. Get rid of that dandelion weed. And he watered his carrot seed some more. Watered that carrot seed. Still nothing. But day after day after day, our kiddo watered and pulled the weeds and hoped that his carrot seed would finally come up. And his mommy came back out to see what his progress was. And what do you think his mommy said? Yeah, do you see a carrot? No. His mommy said, I think it's time to give up. I think it's time to give up. The carrot's not going to grow, sweetheart. And his daddy came out. And did his daddy see any carrot? No. And his daddy said, I think it might be time to give up. I don't think the carrot's going to grow. I'm sorry. And his big brother came out, and again, we were not super sweet or caring about hurting our feelings. So our big brother kind of didn't say it as nicely as Mommy and Daddy. Our big brother said, I told you there wasn't going to be a carrot. I know. We're still practicing. We're still practicing being nice to people, right? Especially with our siblings. That can be hard. But our little boy was not discouraged. Our little boy had so much confidence in himself, had so much belief that what he did every day, right? His watering and the pulling the weeds and the beautiful bright sunshine would make that carrot grow big and strong. Until one day, oh my gosh, what do you think happened? I see something coming out from underneath the soil. I see something coming out. Oh my gosh, that's the biggest carrot I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, one day this huge carrot poked out of the ground, and our little boy got to make the tastiest, biggest carrot cake you have ever seen for dessert. And let me tell you, even our big brother enjoyed a slice of that carrot cake. Oh my gosh, you guys are such good listeners. You listened to that story so well. I'm so proud of you. I bet that since that was such a simple story, right, you could play that story at home. Yeah, you could make some pictures on paper to retell the story. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a carrot. Maybe you could grow some corn or some lettuce or some strawberries. You could grow anything you like, and you could retell that story with your little watering can and your weeds, and maybe you could make a picture of the sunshine to show the sun, and then you will have learned all of the things that a plant needs to grow nice and big and strong. Even if maybe we aren't going to grow a carrot that big, that's pretty big, we might be able to grow some nice yummy vegetables to eat. And if you don't have room for a garden in your house or your apartment, don't worry. How about you take a little bit of a walk outside and see what kinds of plants are growing outside? You might not see a lot of vegetables, though there are some really great community gardens around our area. But you might see a lot of plants and flowers and trees, and all of those types of plants take the same things to grow, right? They need the same things. They need dirt with nice, yummy nutrients in it. They need sunlight, and they need water, right? From a watering can or from the rain. That's what all of our types of plants need to grow big and strong. And when we're in springtime, we can start to see some of those beautiful plants poking out from the ground right after a winter, right? When they weren't able to grow in that cold, cold snow and ice. We're starting to see them be able to grow now. So when you take a nature walk with your grown-up, see how many types of plants you guys can identify together. I know that sometimes we're afraid to use bigger words like daffodil or tulip, like the specific names for flowers or trees, right? With our littlest friends, our babies and our toddlers. But it is such a great opportunity to learn some more vocabulary. We can definitely use a nature walk and plant words as a great opportunity to introduce some unusual vocabulary words like the names of plants and trees into just everyday conversation. So you guys see what you can find next time you head outside together. All right, now we're almost ready to say goodnight. But before we say goodnight, we always have to do our very special story time imagination meditation, right? Now, if you haven't joined us before, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, imagination meditation, that's not something little kiddos can do. And I'm telling you, it is, I promise. Because instead of doing what I think of as grown-up meditation, sitting really still and closing our eyes and trying not to think of anything at all, I can't even do that, and I am a grown-up. We focus our attention, right? We point our attention all toward one thing, and that's what we're imagining, right? So at bedtime story time, we imagine that we are smelling something really good, like one of those beautiful flowers. What's your favorite kind of flower to smell? I think my favorite smell is a lilac flower. Oh my gosh, we talked about this in Storytime on Monday. They smell so good. I bet that you have a lot of flowers that you've smelled before that smell good. And you picture that really nice smelling smell, right? You picture it in your mind. Then you breathe in really deep to get as much of that smell as you can. And when you let out that breath, you picture a candle, right? You picture the flame of a candle and you picture blowing it out, right? So maybe it's a birthday candle, or maybe it's a special holiday candle, or maybe it's just a really nice smelling candle. Yeah, your thing that you're smelling could be the candle too. Picture that flame in the darkness, right? That one little flame. When you breathe out, you blow out that flame, right? Nice and strong. So we do that breath pattern, which is in, out, right? We do that 3 times together. And if you can only do it 1 time or half a time or 0 times, that's totally fine. You listen to your body and what your body wants from you. Grown-ups, we can model this imagination meditation. And let me tell you, over time, our kiddos will be very interested in copying what we're doing. And then they might start to feel the differences in their bodies, right? So we might start to feel a little looser, a little calmer, and that feels nice. So they might be interested in doing the meditation once they start to feel those things. So for now, if they're not interested, that is just fine. You guys and I can do it together, right? The grown-ups can do it together if our kiddos aren't interested. All right, are we ready? We'll do our first time. I'm going to smell that beautiful flower. Blow out that candle. You ready for our second time? Smell that flower. And blow out that candle. Are you ready for our third time, our last time? Smell that flower. And blow out that candle. Does your body feel any differently? Yeah, do you feel that looseness? Do you feel a little more relaxed? I hope so. I always feel a little bit more sleepy, which is perfect for bedtime meditation because I know that it can be hard to fall asleep, especially if we're having a stressful day or if the next day is something that we're worried about. If we have some big thing that next day, right, like a big work project or a big test at school or something unusual that we're worried about, it can be really hard to get to sleep. And this is a way that you can try to calm down before bed. Try to transition into that calm, restful state to help you fall asleep. All right, Storytime friends, it is almost time to say goodbye to one another. I know, I can't believe it either. But don't worry, because if you need more Storytime magic, I've got a bunch of ways for you to get it. You can watch all of our videos, right, on our playlist, all of our lunch break story times, all of our bedtime story times. They're all labeled by topic or story, so you guys can find which ones you like or which ones you want to try. You can fast forward and rewind, put them on at any time of the day or night. The other special way you can get some Storytime magic is our Dial-A-Story service. So our Dial-A-Story service doesn't need the internet. All you do is you take a phone, so a landline or a cell phone, and you call our number, 847-999-7600. And you're going to hear a menu read by me, so you'll recognize it. a menu of all of the different options that you have for listening. So we have a bunch of picture books. We have new chapters of a couple chapter books every week. We have a chapter book for adults going on right now, our One Book, One Community selection for adults, which is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And we always try to have at least one themed picture book on there. So this week we have a gardening themed picture book ready for you to listen together. And if that is not enough, I am also going to put the handout for our gardening themed story time in the comments for the video so that you can look at that, get some recommended books to put on hold for curbside pickup and share together, like our carrot seed picture book that we did with the flannel board. You can put that on hold. There's going to be a bunch more rhymes than we could ever do in story time. And there's going to be some fun extension activities, so some crafts or playtime ideas to help continue this gardening fun, right? That's all there for you any time of day, any day of the week. All right, now it really is time to sing goodbye to one another. All the announcements are done. Now our goodbye song has the same American Sign Language words and the same tune. The only thing we change is instead of hello, we say goodbye, which is just opening our hand flat and closing it. Open, close. All the rest are the same. You ready? Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Oh my gosh, Fluffy's got to get back out here to say goodbye to all of our Storytime friends. We love you. We miss you very much, and we can't wait until it is safe to see each other again. In the meantime, we hope you and your families are staying healthy and safe and happy. Mwah.